bat, I have to get this out of the way. This is kind of a sponsored video. A website contacted me, asked me if I wanted to pick anything from their website to review for my channel, and as long as I made a video on it, it was, you know, good to go. And I clarified that I'm able to give my complete and utter honest opinion, regardless of what happens. And so that's what happened, and you're thinking, okay, what did you pick, Walcom? What could you possibly use on your Nerfy channel? Well, I decided to pick something, you know, in the whole time-honored tradition of Nerf modifications that we don't really use tools and materials in ways they were which intended to be used. We just kind of buy stuff and use it to make foam darts go really, really far or make stuff look cool. Awesome! So I decided to pick up something that might be a little useful to people in the hobby or myself as a filmmaker on YouTube, and that was a 3-axis gimbal. One of those things that steadies your camera, or your GoPro in this instance. 3-axis gimbal retails for $78 on their website. That's like half the price of any other 3-axis gimbal I ever saw. In fact, I've seen 2-axis gimbals more expensive than that. Now, 3 axes means that not only does it stable the camera in this position and in this position, it also stables it in this position. So it can go up, down, left, right, and then pan and everything. Does it work? Yes. Was it easy to use? Yes. Am I going to review this from the intelligent eyes of somebody who owns a drone and knows how to use the thing? Heck no, I have no idea what I'm doing. In fact, I took a complete shot in the dark getting this because I just decided, hey, I saw a video where a guy took a completely different gimbal, plugged a Lipo into it, and it turned on, and it balances camera. I hope that works for the one I just asked for, and sure enough, it did. In fact, you saw a little teaser of that if you saw my kind of Welcome to Flywheel Master Race video where I got a bunch of Lipo stuff. The point is that for $80, I got a functional 3-axis gimbal, and it works. In fact, it works pretty darn well. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. Some issues with some other things, but I have to temper the entire review by saying this thing is $80 from a US warehouse. You could probably have it by the end of the week after watching this video. I mean, if you're into this kind of thing, if you want to record war footage, if you want to stand on the sidelines, if you want to mount it to a blaster, this is all entirely possible. And you don't have to pay like $240 for a Fayutech one. You can pay $80, and it's not nearly as nice. And it, you know, you have to have a battery for it. That's kind of the big deal. But it works. That's kind of the most important part in my opinion. Now, if you don't have a Lipo setup, if you're planning on getting one, you might want to look into this. If you have no interest in flywheels whatsoever, you never plan on modifying them, do not buy this. You will have to have a battery for it, and the only reason I bought it is because, hey, I was already getting the batteries, I needed them to modify blaster, so why not? This is the gimbal in question. We'll talk about the little mounting thing going on a little bit, but I'll tell you that right out of the box, there was a wire. I soldered this XT, it's like 20 gauge to like nothing, connector on the end of it, plugged a battery into it, and it booted right up and worked fine. Can't really ask for much more than that. In the box, it comes with the gimbal itself. It comes with 2 different types of these kind of rubbery mounting things on it. They're like, I don't know, shock angle absorber things. It comes with a black set. There's a white set and a red set. I lost 2 of the black ones somewhere in the box of stuff that I took to the Pan War, so I don't have them. I put the red ones on. It seemed to work fine. I didn't really care. I'm not using it for a quad rotor, multi-rotor drone. So it didn't really concern me all that much. So again, if you're expecting that kind of review, sorry, can't do it for you. Comes with a cable that connects these pins right here to your drone. I guess some drones do that so you can manually kind of focus it and look around and stuff. I don't have a drone. I might get one in the future. I don't have one right now. And then it comes with a USB cable that allows you to plug it into USB for debugging, as the product listing says. We'll get back to that one. And oh, and it comes with a little nut-like thing, counterweight, that is meant for if you're using a GoPro Hero 4. Now, I'm using a Hero 3 Plus Silver, and apparently will work with the Hero 3, the 3 Plus, and the 4. Maybe it's just the 3 Plus and the 4, but I don't think there's that much of a difference between the 3 and the 3 Plus. A lot of the problems I saw stemming from this thing online, all the reviews I was reading, came from people who were using the Hero 4. I don't know if that was user error or not, but virtually every single one of these comments, I saw the website Banggood comment back saying, hey, get in touch with us, we can try to fix this. So maybe their customer service is really good, I don't quite know. All I know is, I got this thing, I plugged a Lipo into it, and it worked. Worked rather well. Now, I will demonstrate exactly how well here in just a moment. Now, this thing is kind of my handheld for it. It is a piece of PVC. I bent it with a heat gun. I zip tied it on there. We're going to talk about a little more of why I had to do this, because I am not a clever man. I may make some interesting things, but sometimes things just escape me. We are going to plug this into this. Now, this is just the Nanotech 3S Lipo from Turnigy, I believe. Yep. And you just plug it into the connector. There is a light that will come on the gimbal itself. You can kind of see it through there on that far pin. And eventually, if I kind of steady this, the gimbal should turn on and self-level. Now, I had a little bit of an issue earlier where it didn't want to do this and I had to reset it, but that's only because of the kind of thing. But you'll notice it just kind of woke up and it's tilting and doing all sorts of weird stuff and self-leveling. This is important because now it's on, and you'll notice now when I tilt the camera and I move this thing, the GoPro itself is staying completely level. So, if I was recording footage, well, I could just prop this up like this. I could pan it around. In fact, let's record some footage with it. Let's hit this little button right here. And this is going to be some good cameraception, but you will see, I'm not even going to be that gentle with it. You can see that the footage is pretty darn smooth. Now, if I go to the extremes of the backwards tilt and the forwards tilt, it does kind of jitter a little bit, and the range is not super extreme, but you gotta think, like, if you're at that angle on a quadcopter or whatever, it's probably going down or already hit the ground, so not really too much to complain about right there. But yeah, I've used this thing, I've had it for like 2 months now. Again, Banggood, thank you for being so patient with me. And it's worked fine. I gave it a very extensive field test. Now, I don't have any footage from the war, unfortunately. I forgot my lipos, but I have used it quite a bit playing around, and it's done absolutely nothing but good for me. I've never had a single issue with it. If you guys can think of a better setup for this, I would be quite happy. And let's talk about that USB cable. Now, debugging. Well, I did a lot of research, quite a bit, and I found out a couple of interesting things. The GIYI one, the JIYI, well, it's a clone of a different kind of gimbal, kind of the same thing. It's got this really simple logic board in the back, and then it's got this voltage regulator that's inside this tape or heat shrink tubing, and the design is identical. The GE is a copy of that. So I tried really hard downloading so many different kinds of Chinese drivers trying to get this thing to work, because the original gimbal, and I don't remember what it's called, can actually be put into what's called handheld mode, to where you can put it upside down. Well, that would be great, because then I could just mount it on a tactical rail or something like that. This one, I can't do it. If I plug in the USB cable into the computer, I just get a dun-dun, because I don't have any drivers for it. I went to their website. They have some drivers, but they're for the multi-rotors that GE also sells. I tried all of those, and I still couldn't get anything to interact with the gimbal itself. I looked around quite extensively, and I did not see a single other person ever talk about, hey, I've got the GE one, I've got the drivers for it, it worked fine. I turned it into handheld mode and it was great. I saved myself a lot of money buying a wearable gimbal. Kinda sucks. Yeah, if you want to spend more money, you'll get a smaller package that will most likely already include a battery, that, you know, you can press one button, the thing will turn on and do this. But that's a lot of money. Are you a smart person? Now, I may not be the most clever person. I have made some cool things, but when it comes to this, I did do a kind of a little video where I basically put a PVC hanging off the side of a blaster and I put this on it, and it worked. It actually looked really cool. It gave me that whole Call of Duty kind of vision, but then I have a gimbal sitting right here, and then it, you know, hits me if I swing the blaster the wrong way. Wasn't exactly good. This, it's kind of annoying. I really wish that I could flip it around and put it upside down, but the thing just goes batshit crazy. That's a problem, and then on top of that, I tried to do some regular little hacks, like reversing the motor, like this arm right here, where you see this motor right here, flipping it over to the other side. Now, some gimbals will allow you to do that, and it'll automatically go, oh, wait, I'm in a different orientation. Let me fix myself. You cannot take off these motors. At least I couldn't figure out. In fact, this whole thing is like, yeah, you can get some of the screws, and it just don't work. I really hope somebody else can figure this out, because I could find barely any information on this exact gimbal. I could only find one of the legit copy, which I couldn't even find a buying link for. Yeah, it's a copy, but again, I have to put in perspective that this is an $80 gimbal. On another tangent, when I received this box, this is the condition it arrived to me in. That corner was already dented. It had all of these markings already on it. It had that on it, where something had obviously been peeled off. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if I got a refurbished one. I don't know if they like opened it up and made sure that the one they send out to the YouTuber happens to work. I have no idea. The only thing I can say is that from what I've seen in the comments of their own reviews on their website, they were rather nice. They said, hey, contact us. We'll try to fix it. And they do have, if you look, it says a US warehouse where you can get this thing. So I'm guessing it wouldn't be too hard to get a replacement, or if it just doesn't work at all, get your money back. But again, I'm kinda, I mean, maybe you know of, oh, Walcom, I know of a way cheaper or $100 3-axis gimbal that does all of the stuff. I'd like to see it, because I could not find one. In fact, I think the second cheapest one was $140, and screw that, this one's $80. So I really have nothing bad to say about this. If I was at a war right now and I wanted to just record some awesome footage, if I was regular car reviews and I just wanted to get some great tailpipe footage of some vehicle, well, this is kind of how they do it. Not to the same degree. They use purely mechanical stuff. I'm getting off on a wild tangent here, but it works. This works. I can move around with this. And if I was really creative, I would figure out a way to, you know, mount it kind of like this or something. This would be awesome. Or better yet, in a full third-person mode. Even more awesome. I am unfortunately not that creative in being as huge as I am. It doesn't exactly make it easier on me to make any kind of wearable contraption. But I have pretty glowing remarks for this gimbal. Most of you, if you're this far into the video, you already made the decision. 80 bucks, I need that, I'm gonna buy it right now. And I wish you luck. I hope your experience is as good as mine, but from what I've seen in the reviews, it might not be. Banggood does have a pretty good track record. When I mentioned their name to a couple of other people, they already knew who I was talking about, so yeah. Apparently they're pretty awesome. I had never heard of them. I don't really buy kind of weird electronic stuff from overseas all that often. But again, using it this entire time, it's still working. If you're looking for this kind of thing, I'm gonna recommend this one. I'm sure as time goes on, that is a massive spider. You know that feeling when you see a spider the size of a hamster crawling down the wall? I need a flamethrower. Anyway, yeah, there will be a buy link down in the description box below for this exact item right here. Works good for me. Maybe this review was a little too long. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course I hope to see you in an entirely different one. No, seriously, that spider is like the size of my hand, and it moves fast, and I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it being on that wall at all. At all. I don't like it. At all. Walcom out.